Is 2020 over yet? I'm done. How about you? Hey gang, this is your host, Brian Rollins, and this is the Dorky, Geeky, Nerdy Trivia Podcast. It's our last episode of 2020, and I won't be sad to see it go. In honor of what a disaster this year has been, we thought it might be fun to revisit those film catastrophes, disaster movies. It'll be nice to remember a time when widespread death and destruction was limited to the big screen. As always, it's 3 rounds of 10 questions each. I'll give you the question, then you'll have 5 seconds to answer. Simple format, not so simple questions. That covers the intro, so let's get going. The Dorky Round. Number 1. What 1972 movie's poster described the film as Hell Upside Down? Poseidon Adventure. Number 2. What 2015 disaster movie gets its name from the major fault line running through California? San Andreas. Number 3. NASA shows what 1998 movie as part of its management training program? Armageddon. The goal is to spot as many errors as possible. Over 168 have been found. Number 4. What 70s movie featured Helen Reddy as a singing nun and Linda Blair as a child in need of an urgent operation? Airport 1975. Number 5. In Deep Impact, what does ELE or Ellie stand for? Extinction Level Event. Number 6. In what movie does Pierce Brosnan play a volcanologist named Harry Dalton? Dante's Peak. Number 7. In an unusual move, what 2006 movie had reshoots to change its rating from PG-13 to R? Snakes on a Plane. Number 8. Paul W.S. Anderson directed what 2014 romantic historical disaster film set in the ancient Roman Empire? Pompeii. Number 9. What 2020 disaster movie shares its name with the world's largest island? Greenland. Number 10. Who starred as Professor John Kostler in the 2009 film Knowing? Nicolas Cage. The Geeky Round. Number 1. Filming for what 1996 movie was delayed when the film crew stopped to help recovery efforts after the Oklahoma City bombing? Twister. Number 2. What 1974 movie was the first to use the gimmicky Send Surround for audio? earthquake. Apparently the speakers were so powerful, chunks of plaster fell off some theaters that used it. Number 3. The novels that inspired The Towering Inferno were themselves based on what real-life buildings? The Twin Towers in New York City. Number 4. In what year did the movie 2012 come out? It came out in 2009. Number 5. What 2006 disaster movie is named after a Greek god? Poseidon. It's a remake of the 1972 film Poseidon Adventure. Number 6. Michael Caine and Telly Savalas face off in what 1979 disaster movie sequel? Beyond the Poseidon Adventure. Number 7. The Airport series ended its trilogy with what film? The Concorde, Airport 79. Number 8. What 1978 movie marked Fred MacMurray's final film role? The Swarm. Number 9. According to Paul Newman, what was the only film he ever did for the money? When Time Ran Out. Number 10. David Arquette starred in what 2002 arachnid-based disaster movie? Eight-Legged Freaks. The Nerdy Round. Number 1. What airport's exterior stood in for Lincoln International Airport from the movie Airport? The Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport. Number 2. What was the name given to the new volcano in the 1997 film Volcano? Mount Wilshire. Number 3. Roger Ebert said of what 2003 movie, "I have such an unreasonable affection for this movie, indeed that it is only by slapping myself alongside the head and drinking black coffee that I can restrain myself from recommending it." The Core. Number 4. What 1995 movie became one of Netflix's top 10 movies in March 2020? Outbreak. Number 5. Despite the setting being a fishing boat, what 2000 movie featured no real fish? The Perfect Storm. The director, Wolfgang Petersen, is an animal rights activist. Number 6. Samuel L. Jackson signed on for what 1999 movie after enjoying working with director Renny Harlin in The Long Kiss Goodnight? Deep Blue Sea. Number 7. In The Day After Tomorrow, what is the occupation of Dennis Quaid's character, Jack Hall? He's a paleoclimatologist. Number 8. What 1951 movie told the story of scientists racing to build a rocket to send refugees to the planet Zira? When Worlds Collide. Number 9. In the 1979 movie Meteor, what was the name of the asteroid coming to Earth? Orpheus. Number 10. What 2009 movie was billed as Korea's first disaster film? Tidal Wave. And we're done. This is our last episode of 2020. Thanks for rolling with us this year. I know we picked up a lot of new listeners this year, with folks being stuck at home. We had a little over 10,000 listens in 2019 and more than 20,000 this year. I hope the show has brought a little fun into your homes this year. Goodness knows, we all need it. But we have a vaccine rollout to be thankful for. And if you're like me, you've taken stock of what's really important to you this year. As I keep telling my kids, this was the year on pause for us. But I know I've been lucky. For many of you, this year hasn't stopped. For medical staff, you're working endless hours and you haven't seen your families. We thank you. For those in the service industry making sure we can still buy groceries, get gas, and keep society moving, we thank you. For the teachers out there who've been thrown endless curveballs and still managing to educate our kids, we thank you. To everyone out there that's lost a job or lost a loved one from the pandemic, we see you, we support you, we are here for you. So, for the end of the year, if you know someone, including yourself, that could use a free audiobook, come visit me on my personal site, thevoicesinmyhead.com. You can request a free copy of any of the audiobooks I've narrated over the years. There are mysteries, thrillers, YA romance, and more. It's not much, but if you know someone out there that could use a little escape from reality, send them my way. We'll be back again next week and next year for another episode. Here's your clue. Oprah Magazine recently listed The Devil Wears Prada, The Birdcage, and Bring It On as some of the best of what type of movie? This has been episode 101 of the Dorky, Geeky, Nerdy Trivia Podcast. The music has been by Jason Shaw. You can find him and his music at audionautics.com. I'm your host, Brian Rollins. Thanks for listening, and may your 2021 be full of love, happiness, and prosperity.